a library. So if you take library or framework, so what are the benefits we have with this library and frameworks? Okay, the main benefit nothing but simplified coding and more enhanced features are available in these libraries and frameworks. Okay, now React.js is a library of JavaScript and implemented by Jordan Work and released the basic version 2013, and that basic version is 1.x and current version is 6.16.x. This React.js is maintaining by Facebook Corporation, and we also discussed some of the features which we have in this React.js compared with JavaScript. Okay, so what are the features we have in this React.js? Okay, so first I told you that is virtual DOM. Yes. So here DOM is nothing but one object based on the HTML elements. This DOM object is creating a RAM memory location. So when this object is created, then only these controls are visible on browser. Later, if you perform any modifications on these controls, every time DOM is rendering, every time DOM object is rendering. Is it clear? Now, it is somewhat time-taking process. So if you directly update the DOM, it is time-taking process. That's why they introduced one JavaScript object that is nothing but virtual DOM. So this is nothing but one JavaScript object only. So first, what is happening when you perform any updates in the browser? First, those updates will update on the virtual DOM. Then this virtual DOM, it is updating only those modifications in the original DOM. Is it clear? So this type of mechanism is working in this React.js. That's why obviously React.js application performance is very fast. And the second point, if you take here, so it supports single page application. Already I told you in last class. Just I'm refreshing those concepts. A single page application means, okay, initially all the templates are loading into the client's cache memory location. Okay, all the templates are loading into the client's cache memory location. So whenever you are calling these web pages, means next pages like home, about us, contact us, like that, these navigations, when you click on these navigations, that page is loading from client's cache memory location without sending any request to the server. Means it reduces the complete network traffic on the server and increases the performance of application. That is the concept of single page application. We can also call it as a routing concept. What is that? A routing concept. It is working based on this routing concept. Next one. So I will explain the programs, how to use this routing concept, everything we will discuss here. And next one, data binding. Yes. So what is the main purpose of this data binding? We can bind a variable with output control like text box or button or any other control. So what is the benefit of this data binding? So nothing is there without implementing any logics. Directly we can get the updates of variable and we can display those updates in the HTML controls like text box or button, radio button, etc. For example, variable that is modified. Okay, so then modified information I want to display in the output control. Whenever the variable is modifying, every time I want to update the views. Views means nothing but output controls like heading tag, paragraph, etc. In manual programming, every time we need to execute some statements. Those statements were getting the data and updating in variable means output control. But when you are coming to this data binding concept, so directly we can bind a variable with output control. It increases the performance of application. And next one here, we need not bother about the updates, direct updates. It will affect on the output controls. That is the main advantage of data binding concept. Okay. And next one, we also discussed one more point in last session. What is that? It supports number of services. Yes, many services are available. Services are nothing but here predefined functionalities. So for example, Ajax concept is there. Yes, so this is common requirement. Ajax is common requirement for every UA developer. Ajax is common requirement. Yes. Now when you take this Ajax concept, so in this Ajax concept, we are sending a request from browser to server. right? We are sending a request from browser to server. So in this point of view, if we are working with JavaScript, so we are writing many statements and we are taking the support of XML HTTP request. One object is available in JavaScript. So that object we are using to work with the Ajax. In this scenario, we should write many lines of coding. But when we are coming to this React.js, so one predefined service is available. Axios is one service. So this service, if you use only one line statement, we are writing to work with the Ajax. Like that, everything is simplified in the form of services. Number of predefined services are available here. Okay. And next one here, yes. So someone is asking any question? No, na? Fine. Next one here, if you take this React.js, React.js is supporting JSX format. Okay. So what is the JSX format? JavaScript XML. Already I told you in last class what is JSX. So here we did not start any programming concepts, just what this React is providing compared with JavaScript. That concept we are discussing now. Yes. Now it is supporting JSX format, JavaScript XML. What is the beauty of the JSX concept? Yes, we can directly place HTML controls within the JavaScript. That is the main advantage of JSX. Is it clear? Directly we can place HTML controls within the JavaScript. So we can directly bind the HTML control values, JavaScript variable values and HTML controls using this JSX. It reduces the number of lines coding for programmer. Okay, simply we can finish the logics. Okay. Next one here, React supports a Redux concept. Very, very important. Okay. So Redux is nothing but data management concept. Okay. So just like state management, we can also call it as state management. What is the state management? So nothing is there. So in your web page, means in your website, number of web pages are there. In your website, number of web pages. Sometimes we are navigating from one page to another page. Okay. In this point of view, want to transfer the data of one page to another page. In this concept, we are working with Redux. It is very powerful. Actually, Redux is third party, okay, that tool here, but that third party tool we can easily integrate with our React application. Here we are discussing how to work with this Redux concept and how to handle the data, how to manage the state of the application. So state means nothing but remembering the data of one page into another page. Okay, so in this web page, in this website, many pages are there. We are navigating from one page to another page. In this point of we are carrying the data one page to another page, then we are taking the support of this React with Redux. So that Redux support is available for us. Next point here, React Native. Yes, this is one more excellent concept for us. Actually, it is the framework to develop the hybrid mobile applications. Means Ionic, I think you heard about this Ionic or phone gap, these technologies. What are the main use of these technologies? Nothing is there. We can develop mobile applications, that is cross mobile applications. What the meaning of cross mobile application? One application is compatible with different platforms like Android, iOS, like that. So here a few more technologies are there to work with the cross mobile applications, but React Native is very popular. It supports all mobile devices, and we can handle the components of like camera component or keypad components, like that. All these components of any type of device, that much compatibility is there in this React Native. Even if you take phone gap, Ionic softwares, some little bit issues are there, but React Native is very popular hybrid mobile application development framework. So here in this React Native, some predefined tools are available to access the components of mobile devices, and coding point of view, purely React.js coding, we are writing this React Native. So like that here, many advantages. Next one, component programming here. What is that? Component programming. Yes, component is nothing but a section of one concept. So if you take any concept like registration is one concept, login is one concept. Like that here, these concepts contains design script as well as logics. For registration, we have to create registration form, that is design script, and we are implementing the logics also. These two we are combining as one component. Like that here, every concept we are creating as a component. So this is component programming. So this component programming is very flexible for reusability. One component I can simply use with another component. One component I can reuse in another component. Like that we are working with this component programming. So these are the basic, okay, fundamentals in this React.js, which we are handling. Okay, like their virtual DOM, data binding. Okay, and the next one here, number of filters are available. Yes, to convert the data from one format to another format. Different types of filters are available. These filters also we are using here. So like that, these are different types of concepts. We need to work out on these concepts. So these are the main features we have in this React.js compared with JavaScript. Main purpose is programming is very simple. Yes, programming is very simple, and more advanced features are available here. Okay. Now, one example I'm explaining you. See this concept. Okay. Now, you are working with the login concept, for example. Actually, in real applications, in which area we are using this client-side script, so that concept we are discussing now. Yes. Now, if you take this login concept, in this login concept, what are the steps we need to do for this concept? For example, in future, in company, you got one requirement. In that requirement, in that specifications, okay, we have to develop login concept. So first we have to design the, yes, login, yes, the first point. Yes. And what is the second one? Yes, validate controls. What is the third point? Send controls data to server. Or the fourth point? Okay, so execute script in server to check username and passwords. And what the next point? Okay, receive data from server and navigate to either welcome page or invalid user page. Yes. So these are general concepts we need to implement for any task. If you take login or registration or any other concept, is it clear? These are the general things we are developing. These are the steps we are developing here. Okay. So now here, if you take this first point, what the first point here? Design the login page. In this point of view, actually we don't design. In companies, separate designers are there, UA designers, because we are not UA designers, we are UA developers. So in UA coding, we are working, not designing point of view. So designers will provide you these templates by using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, they are using here. And the second step, validation controls. Yes, this is our responsibility. In this point of view, client side script we are using here. So that is nothing but what is that? React. Next one, sending the data to the server. Yes, this is also client side. In old days, we worked with JavaScript, but these days, so React.js we are using. In React.js, Axios is one package. That package is available. So we are using that package to send the Ajax object from client to server. And here after that, when you are sending the data to the server, we should validate. That is also not our job now. So that is server-side programmer job. Simply we are calling one API service from server and we are sending the username password. In that API service, server-side programmer executing logics to connect with the database and to check whether username password valid or invalid. In this point of view, just we are using, means in companies they are using Node.js or JSP or PHP or any other technology. Once server-side validations are completed, so then server-side API service is returning result to you, whether success or failure. Yes, in this point of view, we should receive the data and navigate that user to either welcome page or invalid user page. There also we are taking the support in old age JavaScript, and these days client-side script, that is nothing but React we are using. In React, with the support of routing concept, means I told you single page application. Using this concept, we are navigating that user from one page to another page, means from login page to welcome page or invalid user page, like that. Means a simple concept if you take here. Yes, a simple concept if you take here. So in three different locations, this is one location. Yes, and next one, this is another location, and this is another location. In these three different locations, we are taking the support of React.js. Okay, that much usage is there, this React.js. That's why here this popularity is very high, because any application, if you take here, any application, so around I told you 60 to 70 percentage coding is client-side coding we are implementing. Is it clear? So like that, not only login, registration is same scenario, and moreover, in database data is there. The data I want to display on the browser in the tabular format with the paging, yes, with the pagination, like that. So then we don't work with server-side programming. Okay, we are working with the front-end programming only, just like by using this React.js library, we can display the data, we can bind the data with a grid, and we are providing the paging, all these options in this concept. So like that, this is very, very useful script for us. So in every website, client-side script is required. So these days, that client-side script in companies, they're using React to develop that client-side script. In old days, they used it to work with JavaScript. Is it clear? So one use case also, just simple example I told you. Now we have to start the concepts of this React.js. Before that, any doubts, any queries you have, you can ask me now. Yes, you people, I think you got some clarity in this point of view. Yes.
Yes, so
Yeah.
the point
Siva,
number
tell
four,
me.
yeah, the point
Hmm.
number four, execute script in server to check username password, Node.js, JSP, and PHP. Can you just come again? I mean, I wanted to know how the Node.js is playing the role here.
You're asking about Node.js, or you're asking what is that fourth point? So, what is the mean of this fourth point? Which is your question? Are you asking about Node.js or about the fourth
Yeah,
point?
Node.js. Node.js, the fourth point, how the Node.js is used here.
Okay, so you know about PHP? Any idea you have about PHP or JSP?
Uh, yeah, JSP, I have
Yes.
idea.
JSP servlets, server side or client side?
JSP, it's a server side, like we can directly
Yes,
execute those things.
exactly. You're correct. That is server side. Na? Node.js is also server side. It is server side environment of JavaScript. Is it clear?
Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
So here, yeah, I will show you this one. The web server, and this is the browser, right? This is one web page you created, something like login or something. This web page, so HTML code, JavaScript, or this React.js. Okay, you implemented that script, and the server-side program also implemented some server-side code. What happens at the time of loading this page into browser? So original HTML code as well as JavaScript code or React.js, everything is loading into the browser and it is executing browser. That's why we're calling these scripts as client-side scripts. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, and the next one here, Bootstrap, React.js. All these are client-side scripts. So these scripts are executing where in browser. And if you take here JSP, PHP, ASP, Node.js, all these are server-side scripts. These scripts are executing here on in server. Only result is coming back to the browser. Is it clear? So like that, Node.js is server-side script. I think you are feeling that Node.js is client-side script. That idea you have, I think, right? Are you feeling like that?
Yeah, yeah. Previously, I had that doubt. Now it is
No,
okay.
no, no, no. Node.js is server-side script. Okay, clear? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine. Sir, this is Uday. I'm having one doubt. So,
Where is Uday? Tell me. Hmm.
yeah. So, in the fourth point, so the password will be sent, I mean, plain password, or else how it will be sent to the server, to the Node.js server, or else
So
whatever, any
whatever it may
server.
be, Node.js or JSP, whatever it may be, so that is not server, to the server-side script, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to from client, it will be going to the server, right? So,
Hmm.
will there be any, I mean, security meanwhile?
See, actually, the thing is, first of all, UTF-8 format is there at the time of working with this request and responses. Means it is one type of conversion. The data which we are passing from browser to server through post method. So that post method we are using to transfer the data, yes or no? So get and post method, these two methods we have to transfer the data. So post method is encoding the data, first point. But that encoding is not strong encoding. Get method is not encoding the data. Plain raw information it is sending from browser to server. Post method is encoding the data, but it is not strong encoding. Second point. So we are using some encryption functions in the front end, like secure hash algorithm, okay, SSA and MD5 CRC32. Like that, these encryption functions we are using to convert the data, and after that we are transferring the data from browser to server through HTTP protocols. But these encrypted string also can be decodable if the hacker is very powerful, talented person. So for the third step, what we're doing, we are providing one hash key for that, our security key, required security key. So that security key we are attaching with the password, then we are sending the data to the backend. That is the third step. And here, fourth step is there. SSL certification we should take our website. For website, we should register SSL certification, secure socket layer certification. So means it is around 2091-bit encryption data is transferring between browser and server. It is nothing but HTTPS protocols. Yes, so generally HTTPS protocols we are using in our application. These protocols were functioning here. So that time we are registering SSL certification for our website. So where we are taking this space, you want to deploy our website, then we are taking space with some service provider like GoDaddy or HostGator or any cloud also you can deploy here like Google Cloud or Amazon, okay, like that here, AWS Cloud like that. In this scenario, so we are registering SSL certification. So for that, actually we have to pay money, 4,000 per annum. GoDaddy is charging like that. So these all points, okay, we should follow at the time of sending the data from browser to server. So if you convert like this, if any hacker is entered into the network protocol and if he hack the information, he cannot decode that one. Is it clear? So that's why before sending the data, it must be encrypted data. Not only encrypted, okay, it must be encrypted with our secure sign key. Not only that one, it must be secure socket layer encrypted data, then complete security we can provide. Yes, come on, you can ask me now.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Nowadays, see, in server side, most of the people, I mean, I don't have exact idea
Okay,
on it.
answer. Hmm.
They are using JSON Web Token, JWT
Yes,
token. They are
yes,
using that such kind of terminology, right? In that
yes.
case, in the client side in React, how do we need to handle that
The
token authentication?
token is coming from a response object from server to client side. It may be React or Angular, whatever it may be. Is it clear? So that token, that server side program is sending the token. Once the registration means not registration, once the login is success, that server side program is generating one token. That token he is sending to the browser. So we are handling that token by using client side script. So here some packages are there. JWT simple is there. Okay, JSON web token. These packages we can use to handle that token, and that token we are storing in our browser, either in local storage or session storage. Later, for every request, when we are sending request to the server, so that time we are also passing this token as header, HTTP header to the server. Their server side programmer receiving that request and here encoding the token and here comparing that token is valid or not. If it is valid, then only he is sending the response again. Like that, after login, this mechanism is working. To handle these tokens in front end, so we are using some packages like JSON simple is one package, or JSON web tokens, JWT. Like that, these packages are available. We can use these packages to handle the tokens. Yes. Next. Yeah, you can ask me more questions. No problem. First of all, this is clear.
Yeah, fine, sir.
Yeah. So you can ask me any other questions. Uday.
Yeah, fine, sir. And in React futures, you told that React Redux will be used for passing
Statement.
data from one page to other page, right? So we'll be using it in, I mean, in case of
Local
routing,
storage.
or else how, I mean.
Yeah, through routing we can pass.
Okay.
Because navigations compulsory we are using routing concept only, navigation point of view. Normal redirection we don't do. We can also use normal redirection by using window.location. Okay, this type of, or href like that, but that is not recommended because the main beauty of this React and Angular single page application, no? So that single page application you want to achieve, compulsory we should use routing object. Through routing we are not passing data through routing. One point you should remember. Is it clear? We are not passing data through routing. So through routing, we are navigating from one page to another page. But in that another page, we can access the data of the previous page by using these Redux and other state management objects. Means these objects are storing information global location. So that global location data we can access from any component in our application at the time of navigation. That is the concept of this. Understanding? So at the time of routing, through router object, we don't pass any data. Okay, that is we are using for navigation purpose only. Once the page is navigated, then I want to get the data which is used in the previous page. In this point of view, that global variable is there. So like cookies also there, local storage we have, session storage. Like that, we can also use this Redux concept. So using these concepts, we can handle this data. That is the main purpose of this Redux. State management concept we are using. Okay. Yes. Next.
Fine.
Yeah. Any other queries, other people? Yeah. You are working with any technology, Uday?
Yeah, I'm working on Java. Even I'm having experience in jQuery. So in my previous organization, we used to use jQuery. But right now I'm trying like Java with React.
Good. jQuery is also library of JavaScript. Yes. jQuery is also library of JavaScript. jQuery is good for animations point of. Okay. It is good for animations, but not for data binding and single page applications like. Okay. Yeah. It is very excellent for animations and UI controls are then UI libraries providing. So some date picker control, accordion control, these type of controls. For that it is very popular.
Yeah,
Yes.
fine.
So
So this
these
is
are
Prakash.
tell
I
me
have a
Prakash.
doubt.
Yeah.
Can you explain me the third point, site control data to server, which is Axios?
Yeah, actually here, see, from browser to server, you want to pass some data.
Okay.
So in old methodology, if you take form tag we are using and submit button we are using. When user click on the submit button, we are sending the data to the server by using action attribute. But that is not good way of sending data because entire page is rendering here. Okay. Now, how can I communicate with the server without submitting the web page? For that, Ajax concept is there. Yes, Ajax concept. So this is the concept which I told you, sending the data from browser to server. In that point of view, taking the support of Ajax. Now, if you take JavaScript, the one object we are using, XML, HTTP, a request object we are using. So jQuery, if you take $.ajax we are using. Like that, for every technology, that service is available. For every technology, one service is available. So in this React.js, what is that service we are using here? Axios is the service. That Axios service we can use here. Not only Axios, fetch is also available. That fetch also we can use. But fetch is JavaScript function. Axios is especially for React service. Okay. So by using Axios service, we are sending the data from client to server with Ajax object. That is the point which I told.
From browser
Right?
to server, it is going right through like Ajax.
Yeah. The
Okay.
request is going from browser to server. Then once you send the request, obviously response will come back now. That Ajax object only carrying the response from server to browser with some result. That result is depending upon the server side logics. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And yesterday you explained virtual DOM. Can you repeat once again? I was like having this doubt yesterday, but could not. Virtual
Hmm.
DOM, you are
Yeah,
told me.
virtual DOM, that program I will show you, means how it is working, that in detail I will show you. But once again, overview concept I'll discuss with you. So what is the
Mhm.
virtual DOM here? First of all, what is DOM?
Document object model.
What is document object model?
So
Nothing but one object based on the
exactly
HTML elements. Yes.
based on
So that
this.
object
Yeah.
is creating initially, that object is loading into the memory location. It contains some other objects internally, like for text box one object, for button control one object, like that. So in HTML page, input type is equal text, and div and paragraph, like that we are taking these tags now. Based on these tags, these objects are creating in this DOM. So then based on these objects in browser, the controls are loading here, and these controls are displaying on the browser like this. Is it clear? Now, what happens if I modify this control value every time it is updating in this DOM? That is the mechanism which is working by default. So means direct updation on the DOM is performing. At that time, again, this entire DOM object is recreated. It is not updating the patchwork.
Sorry, can
Entire
you please
DOM,
repeat once again?
yeah,
Like
when you
hmm. Till object I have followed. Then what is the second diagram? So object consists of
this is
some
browser.
element.
This is browser.
Okay. Hmm.
This is browser, no? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So based on this object only, the data, the elements are displaying on the browser.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Okay.
like that, for example, audio file is there. When you double click on this audio file, it is opening with MP3 player. But before that, what is happening? That audio content is loading into the RAM like this. After that, only in output window, plays the song. Yes or no? So like that here, HTML file is there. When I open this HTML file, the one object is creating in memory. So that object uh, result is displaying on the browser. In this browser, if I do any modifications, then object is updating automatically. That link is there between this object and browser. But what is happening? So every time entire object is recreating. If I do any modifications here, the original object internally is deleting. Again, new object is creating with the controls along with the modified values. That is the mechanism working here. Means that only modified area is not updating here. Every time object is recreating. That is the default nature of these updates. When you work with this virtual DOM here, means JavaScript object. Virtual DOM is nothing but one JavaScript object. So what is the main purpose of this virtual DOM concept? In React.js, that JavaScript object, they use it to work with this virtual DOM concept. So what are the modifications you are doing here? First, those modifications will affect on this virtual DOM. Then virtual DOM responsibility is only update those patches on the original DOM. That is the responsibility of virtual DOM. Means instead of re-rendering this DOM object again and again, only that particular area it is updating here. So for that, they introduced this virtual DOM concept. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, now it is very clear. Thank you.
Yeah, I will show you that one also. Okay, with the live example, I will show it. Then you will get more clarity. Just theoretically explain to you. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Any more?
yeah. Content will be like you will be starting with the Java, JavaScript basics, or like you'll start with the React programming directly.
No. JavaScript is required, na? So first we will discuss with JavaScript. And in JavaScript, I told you, advanced concepts are very important here. So means advanced concept means some people may have idea on JavaScript, like document object, window object, etc. But to work with this React, compulsory should know. Yes, so promises concept, async concept, asynchronous calls, bind functions, the dynamic controls creation, and class programming, classes, objects like that. Because in React component we are creating components. So functional components we can create, class components also we can create. Is it clear? So in this point of view, how to work with this class and how to work with the lambda expressions. These are all ECMAScript 6 concepts. Yes, and we should know prototypes. In nested functions, very important nested functions we should know. And the closures like that. These are the topics first we need to discuss. Once you clear in this point of view, then you can easily understand the React.js concepts. And Webpack concept is very important to build the project. Okay, so Webpack is generating what is Webpack and what is import export statements in this Webpack. So those things I will cover first of all. So then I will discuss the concepts of React.
Yeah, sir, I'm having one more doubt.
Tell
So,
me what the your
usually in
voice is.
Angular, usually in Angular, people will use TypeScript, right? So in this React, we won't use TypeScript, or else, I mean,
Yeah, we can
completely
use
will be.
TypeScript also. We can use TypeScript also in this React. Okay.
Okay. But in this
Yeah.
course, we'll be
Discussing
going
with
through
JavaScript.
only JavaScript. Okay.
Because most of the companies they are using JavaScript. Okay. So openly I will tell you, high level companies work with TypeScript. Is it clear?
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Yeah, fine, sir.
Yeah. By default, it is JavaScript we are using, but very professionals they work with TypeScript because TypeScript programming is very excellent programming compared to JavaScript. And in TypeScript, object-oriented programming support is there, and types are available, data types. Okay, and compiler execution is there. So like that, cleaner programming. So like that, many advanced features are there in this TypeScript. It is a product of Microsoft. We can also use TypeScript in this React.js, but in this course, I will discuss with JavaScript only. If possible, one or two programs I will show you with TypeScript, and one project also we are doing now. So in that project, we are working with TypeScript code only. That project also I will show you, but I don't discuss all concepts with TypeScript. Is it clear? Because JavaScript is mandatory for us. Okay. Yes, we
Yeah,
can also
fine.
use TypeScript. Remember this point. Yeah. Any more queries? Any doubts you have? Okay, fine. No more queries. Now we have to start with JavaScript. What is JavaScript? Tell me.
Sorry, one more doubt. Can I ask?
Yeah, ask Prakash.
Yeah. So, sir, like, I mean, approximately how many classes you will take? How many sessions you will take
Yeah,
for
50 to
JavaScript?
55 days. JavaScript, JavaScript I will spend around 1 week to 10 days, Prakash.
Okay, then we'll start with the So React JS and native both will take or only JS, sir?
React Native, you are asking about React Native?
Yeah. So we'll take like
No,
any
no.
native. Class for
No,
React Native also?
we are not discussing React Native. React.js we are discussing here.
Yes. All right. Thank
React Native is separate batch. You want to join, you can join with that. That is 2 month session. That is for mobile application development.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, React.js is good for you a developer. React
Mm-hmm.
Native means to work with the hybrid mobile application to
Mobile
handle the
application.
components we are using that for. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
So what is JavaScript? JavaScript is client-side script. So is there any relationship between Java and JavaScript? No. Java is a different product and JavaScript is different product. Java is the product of Sun Microsystem and JavaScript is the product of Netscape Corporation. JavaScript is the product of Netscape Corporation. So original name of JavaScript is LiveScript. Original name of JavaScript is LiveScript. So it is introduced in 1995. And here for JavaScript, one standard set of this script is available, that is nothing but ECMAScript. What is ECMAScript? ECMAScript is nothing but providing the standards of JavaScript. In ECMAScript, we have rules and regulations of JavaScript. So in ECMAScript, they are introducing new concepts. Based on these concepts only, in JavaScript, they are developing the concepts in the new releases. Is it clear? So ECMAScript is just like, for example, SQL. If you take here, what is SQL? Is it any database language? No. SQL is a specification for all database languages. SQL is providing rules and standards for all database languages. So if you are going to develop any database language, you need to follow the standards of this SQL. So what are the set of standards they are providing in this SQL? Those standards you have to follow. In the same way, so here, what is ECMAScript? It is providing the standards for JavaScript and what rules and regulations, everything they are introducing this ECMAScript. Based on the standards only, new JavaScript versions are introducing here. So like that here, so we should have idea on this ECMAScript 6 concepts, because in the 6 concepts, ECMAScript 6th version, many advanced features they introduced here, like object concepts like classes and where let these keywords, let keyword, lambda expression, like that. These are all concepts. Those are very important for us. Why? Because in this React.js components we are creating with the support of these concepts only. Is it clear? Like that, JavaScript is a client-side script, okay, maintaining by Netscape Corporation, and JavaScript is executing with the help of browser interpreters. Every browser contains interpreters to execute this JavaScript, and it is default client-side script of any browser. Means all browsers supports this JavaScript. Is it clear? It is default client-side script of every browser. So here, for example, VB script is there. VB script. That VB script is the product of Microsoft. Yes. And that VB script, if you take here, that VB script is supporting only Internet Explorer. So remaining browsers not supporting that one. So TypeScript, if you take, TypeScript is the product of Microsoft. Now you can ask me that question, sir, browsers supporting this TypeScript or not? Yes, tell me, all browsers supporting this TypeScript? Yes, yes or no? Just guess and tell me, no problem. Anyone? I told you JavaScript is supporting all browsers. It is default client-side script of all browsers. And VBScript is supporting by Microsoft Internet Explorer. Some browsers it is not supporting. What about TypeScript? Actually, TypeScript, okay, we don't directly access from browser. Yes, so transpile concept is there. What is that concept? Converting the TypeScript into JavaScript. First, we are converting into JavaScript. Then only we are accessing from browser. Direct TypeScript cannot be understandable by any browser. Is it clear? So TypeScript is for programmer convenient, but not for browser understanding. Browser cannot understand the TypeScript. Yes, so that's why we are creating the logics in TypeScript. Finally, we are converting those logics into JavaScript. Those JavaScript logics only were binding with the browsers. Is it clear? Yes. So anyhow, here JavaScript is the default client-side script of all browsers. Okay. So these JavaScript concepts we need to discuss first. After that, I will start the React.js. So in next session, I will start these JavaScript concepts. Yes, tomorrow session. Is it clear? Yes. So after this JavaScript, JSON we need to discuss because that is very important. At the time of transferring the data from browser to server through API, REST APIs we are calling from our React application. In that point of view, we are getting the data in the form of JSON. So how to explore this data and how to read, that is very important. That's why after JavaScript, I will give you some explanation on this JSON. Then only I will start the React.js concepts. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, we are starting with JavaScript. So any questions before closing this session, you can ask me now. Yes, all of you clear with these points? Yes, Prakash, Chiranjeev, Swain, Rajesh, clear all of you? Yes? Okay, fine. So see you in tomorrow session. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.